What is going on, everyone? I am Josh with 625 Media, and it is Vlog Sunday once again here on From the Attic. I've upped my social media game. We'll see what I've actually done. Voiceover's starting to roll, but I'll let you judge how much progress I've actually made. And it's time that I rethink my planning strategy because calendars just aren't working. You're on From the Attic. And happy Sunday afternoon. Wow, usually it's Sunday morning when I do this, but it is Sunday afternoon. We are here on From the Attic for Vlog Sunday. Again, I am Josh. This is From the Attic, the 625 Media blog. Before we get into the good stuff, let's talk about social media real quick. You can follow us on various social media outlets. At Twitter, you can follow us at 625 Media. You can like the Facebook page at 625. Follow us on Pinterest, 625 Media. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, 625 Media. And there's one more. That's right. We joined Instagram. Follow us at 625 Media. And we're going to talk about that here in a little bit because there was some additional efforts this week as far as social media goes. And I wanted to take some time to talk about the efforts and the impact. But first, let's talk voiceover. So on Thursday, I did my first blog post that had anything to do with voiceover. It was basically an extensive list of things that I thought about going into actually recording a demo. And that kind of got the ball rolling, got me really thinking about the voiceover work. The whole reason I really had this idea to begin with 7 months ago. I finally got some material written to record the demos. I have not recorded anything yet. I hope to do that either Monday or Tuesday. But once I do that, I also want to get some content up there, just kind of showing what I'm going through as I record that demo, just so you can see what it's like to be some guy in his attic recording voiceover demos, trying to get a voiceover gig. So I hope it at least will be interesting for you to see. But you be the judge. How much progress is that really? I just wrote some short scripts that I can read. The real work comes when I actually go to record it and then post that to see what kind of reaction I get out of that. So next week, we'll see what happens. But let's get on with it. Time to look at the progress. All right. So for the month of August, we're actually looking pretty decent so far. We're only 11 days into the month, and we're already at 94 page views. Now, again, in perspective of successful blogs that are getting 40, 50, 100,000 page views in a month, this is nothing compared to that. But if we take a look at where we were in July, we were at 207. We're not even halfway through the month, and we're already almost to the halfway mark of that. So, steady. We also saw an increase this week, and we'll talk a little bit more about what actually impacted that as we go along here. But social media definitely helping. Top refer is still Facebook, but there are some other social media that are starting to get some numbers. And I'm happy to see that, but by far, Facebook's still our top referral source. No ad revenue to report. No T-shirt sales to report. It's a new month, and we'll talk a little bit more about my strategy there, because last week I had talked about, it's kind of just, it's been like an afterthought, and because I am increasing my social media activity, I'm starting to divide certain aspects of what I'm doing amongst the social media. User testing, $50 paid out in the month of August so far. There's a couple other payments still pending. Overall, $270. So we talk about that one a day goal for the user testing, which it really isn't. It's really like it's the odd man out when it comes to the efforts that I'm doing, but it's still something to kind of supplement everything else. And I'm at about 4 to 5 per week. So I'm going to average, it looks like about 20 to 25, per month at this point. I'm still going to shoot for that one a day, that $300 mark each month, because I think it's obtainable. But I really got to watch how much time I'm actually spending with that, and not putting too much time there and neglecting the other things that could really be the cash cows moving forward. So feeling good about the numbers for August so far. We actually had our biggest blog view day on the 8th. We had 29 views on the 8th. So awesome, really awesome. Felt really good about that. Puts a new influx of energy into what I'm doing. So let's talk about what I learned in the last week. So social media engagement. So I did make some efforts to be more engaged in social media this week, and I saw those efforts pay off in certain venues. But just because I'm engaged doesn't mean that you are going to be engaged. And it's not anything against you. Each day this week, at least on Facebook, I made the effort to ask one question a day to see what kind of response I would get, and it doesn't look like I got any real response. Now I did get some comments on a post that's saying, "Hey, I want to talk to you about your side hustles." It was more just a conversation, and really no takers there. But my offer still stands. I want to interview some of you out there just to see what you're going through. And so maybe that, the people who do come and read and watch here on From the Attic will get something out of it, because that's really the reason I'm here doing it. The other side of the social media is expansion was a good choice, and that should be a no-brainer. Staying with Facebook, being more engaged there. I've also joined some Facebook blogging groups to try to network a little bit, but also, use those as, some awareness building tools, which most of them have those avenues to do that amongst the other bloggers. So I'm trying those out, seeing how well that works. So far, so good. Some of them are very involved, so I'm probably not going to be on each group every day. I might, pick a group one day, this group another day, and just kind of rotate around the groups just to see which is better. SEO, search engine optimization. If you're from like a web design or development field, or a marketing field, your online presence, SEO is incredibly important. It is a critical factor in making sure that your product or your content is viewed and is getting organic traffic, which is traffic that comes through search engine queries. So if I Googled From the Attic and I went to the blog from Google from that search engine result, that would be what's considered organic traffic. So that's really what you want when you're dealing with SEO. So it's critical. It's also very tedious work. I've worked mostly on the blog this week to try to improve the SEO impact of the blog. We'll see how well I did. Still learning. I mean, it's not something I'm not familiar with, but it has changed so much since I did any kind of studies or any kind of work in that industry. So still learning, and I hope to make it a little bit better as we move forward. And I talked about it in the beginning. I need a better system to plan. The calendar and really managing, amounts of time is not working. It's a good thought, and it works in a lot of different project management situations. But right now, there's so many little moving pieces that I'm still figuring out how to automate. I think a task-based list each day is going to be a better solution for me right now. Now, as I automate more and figure out the best ways, the most efficient ways to do these things, I think maybe the time management piece will be more important. But right now, just making sure that I stay on task, because what I'm finding is that I'm working on this, and then I'll jump to over here and work on this, and then I'll jump over here. And I won't be focused on one thing. I'll be focused on like 3 or 4 things. And, while we say multitasking is a great skill to have, I'm in the camp that multitasking isn't a thing. Multitasking is not a thing. You're not going to give your best effort in one area if you're looking at 3 areas. So while we have to do it sometimes, I'm going to avoid it if at all possible moving forward. So we'll see how that plays out. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a little bit. But I want to jump into the social media stuff. Oh, hey, how do you like that? So before we do that, since I've already pulled it up, we might as well look at it. So I was playing around with some ideas as far as improving the visual side of the vlogs and the Vlog Sunday. And I kind of threw this together a little bit. I'm not so sure I'm sold on the motion graphic in the back. I think I want something a little bit different. But I think we got the right idea going. Let me know what you think. Let me know what we could do differently there. Just to see, I don't know, see if we can jazz this thing up a little bit. Just give you a comparison point, because that's what it looks like now. And that's what I was playing with. So, we'll see. But let's talk about social media, because week after week I've talked about, I'm bad at social media. I don't like to post. It's really kind of a hassle for me most days, and I'm introverted. It's a barrier. Well, I decided that I was going to try to break through that barrier at least a little bit. Just let some sunlight through that barrier a little bit this week. And like I mentioned before on Facebook, I asked you all a question at least once a day. I did join some blogging groups to be a little more engaged and network there. But one thing that I didn't consider at first, because I was on the fence on whether or not I should be joining this platform. But we did join Instagram this week, and I've really only been active about 4 or 5 days, and already have some followers. It's not just hordes of people coming and following us, but getting a lot of followers quickly, and also getting some reactions to what's being posted. So here's my thought, because with Instagram you can't necessarily link to posts. I mean, you could put the URL in your description, but I'm thinking that what I'm going to use Instagram more for is maybe some infographics here and there, but also for the t-shirts. I think that might be a good place to sprinkle in those advertisements, if you will, just to kind of bring awareness. Like, hey, there's this, there's a group and we're making shirts and they look pretty cool, or at least I think so. But I think Instagram's going to be a good supplement to the others. Facebook, we already talked about. Twitter. So I've never been a huge Twitter user. I've had a Twitter for a long time. But I've never, been consistent, just like with all my other social media. This week saw some reaction, and actually, I posted my last blog post, which was the voiceover, the newbie's guide to doing voiceover, and I actually got the post listed on another site. I was amazed by that. I saw that on Twitter. So the cool thing about Twitter is that kind of thing happens, but there's also accounts that people run out there that do nothing but get followers and repost other people's stuff. So there's one for vlogging, and there's a couple out there for bloggers that I found that I'm going to utilize here in the beginning to try to drum up some more traffic. At this point, we're a month in, and I've got to try to do what I can to get some momentum. We have momentum. We're steady right now, but I don't want to just stay steady. Let's try to get momentum here in month 2, month 3, and try to ride that into month 6. But I'm going to use some of that as well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else with Twitter, but no. So just being active there, being active Instagram, really paid off in a small way, but paid off. this week. So everything that I've been saying to you that I needed to tell myself, it was right. And we shouldn't be surprised, because that's the expert opinion as well. Social media is vital in marketing efforts today. So let's talk about my task management system. So we've talked about this as well. I was using Google Calendar to kind of block out half-hour periods of time that I was going to do this. So like 7:30 to 8 o'clock, I would do this. And then 8 to 8:30, I would do this. And then 8:30 to 9, I would do this. And I was talking about, well, it's just not working well for me. So I think I'm going to move to Outlook. And then I got into Outlook. I think it was Tuesday evening. I was playing around, just trying to get something put together, and I just realized it's really the same thing. I'm just more comfortable with it. So I'm going to scrap really the time management style of, task list, and I'm going to have it be a task-based management system. So like on Mondays, I need to do this, this, and this. Tuesdays, I need to do this, this, and this. Wednesdays, I need to do this, this, and this. Just so I can keep myself on task, because that's been the part of the problem, is not necessarily that I didn't give myself enough time, but I will start just going at everything as I see it. And that's not been good. Now, I've been able to accomplish what I'm accomplishing. I've stuck to my content schedule. I've gotten, graphics and content out on time. I've managed to do the social media part of it. But I don't know that, because I was everywhere and not just task 1, task 2, task 3, I don't know that I gave my full effort or my best effort. And that's the problem with multitasking. If you're multitasking, you cannot give your best effort. So I'm going to work on that a little bit this week as I try to streamline my process and make it a little easier on me. I'm finding myself in the attic a lot here lately, and I don't want that. I want to put out quality work, and I want to put in the time that I need to, but I shouldn't have to spend all my free time up here to do it. So let's see how well this works, actually staying on task rather than just working on everything all at once. So that's really all the major stuff that I've got for you this week. Just to recap again, social media engagement has been crucial and has kind of given us that boost back up to where we were when we first started in like week 1 and week 2. Getting expanded into the Instagram and Twitter worlds, I think is going to help us. Facebook, of course, has been our staple. Final thought though, Pinterest, which is the undisputed champion of, it's not even social media, but I'm going to call it social media for bloggers, it's been very quiet for me, and I'm not sure why. I think it's one of those things that I'm just not as experienced as I think I am with it, and I need to figure out more about how to utilize the system, how to make the pin images the best they can, because there's SEO techniques with the images themselves that I need to learn about and read about. But we'll figure that out as we're going, creating some different image styles as you might have seen in some of the posts. But social media, definitely, I'm glad that I'm breaking through that barrier. We're going to get some voiceover work done this week, which would be great. My camera is shaking. Like, I am leaning. I can see it. I was trying not to look at it, but my monitor is shaking and the camera is shaking. It's because I'm leaning all over my desk. Voiceover, we're gonna make some more progress this week. Finally, I'm thrilled to see that's happening. And I don't know why I'm thrilled. I should be disappointed in myself that I didn't do this a month ago, but I'm glad that I'm finally going forward. And that's kind of where I want to leave it. We started this a month ago, and who knows how. Getting away from the desk. All right. Who knows where this is headed, if it's even headed anywhere. That's the mystery. That's the scary part. We don't know if this is actually going to have the benefits that I hope that it does. But the one thing that I and anyone attempting to do this kind of thing, whether it be a blog or it be, you're making birdhouses in your garage, progress, steps forward, improvement. That's what you need to see. And you need to be able to either identify it yourself or have someone else identify it for you. Because if you don't know where your weak points are, you won't know where to look to improve. Okay, we've talked about my weak points 4 weeks prior to this, and I'm now just finally going, okay, do it. That's the other side of it. You've got to muster the courage to fight that fight. And it took me a long time to get the courage to fight that fight. But I finally did it. And while I'm not seeing hundreds or thousands of views and visitors for the blog itself, the efforts, you can already start to see that little bit of impact. Now, the next step for me is to keep it up, and we'll see how well I succeed. All right, so before we shut this down, as always, I got to remind you, you can follow us on Twitter at 625 Media. Like the Facebook page at 625. Follow us on Pinterest at 625 Media. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, 625 Media. And Instagram, 625 Media. Oh, it's that kind of day. It's hot. I got a lot of work to do around the house. So this has been From the Attic. Thanks for joining me on Vlog Sunday. Again, I'm Josh with 625 Media. Buy t-shirts. I'm out. See ya.